Hello and welcome to Chinballs Gaming. I am Scorp and this is my WWZ Dronemaster build guide / rate my build. If you think I've got this completely wrong, then please do let me know in the comments, or just tell me how you think I could improve this or what you like. Then, it's all good. We're all friends here, I hope. So let's get started. So you may be asking yourself, why is it important to get this right the first time? And that's because every time you level up, you also have to unlock the perk with currency, whatever these S gold coins are, and they get quite expensive. And if you plan on prestiging, which you should really consider if you want to be taking on the insane or extreme difficulties, then once you prestige, you have to unlock everything again and then pay for everything again, where that money is very much better off being spent on upgrading your weapon stats. So getting it right the first time, or at least committing to a build for at least the first 2 or 3 prestiges, is probably a sane idea. So I'll share my build with you. And what I like is, so there's out of these 3 options is you can either have your charges increased by 15%, kind of increased by 30%, but you carry 20% less ammo, or you can increase the attack range. I do not like the increased attack range. When things are outside the range of your drone, you should be just taking them out with pistols anyway, so you're nice and silent. When you're stunning people and you haven't got time to clear them up with a melee, then that risks them alerting the rest of the horde. So I do not particularly like this one. 30% increased charge is very tempting, but 20% less ammo is quite a lot. To be honest, it's debatable. I would commit to either one of these 2 things. If you can live without that 20% of ammo, then 30% charge is obviously a hell of a lot better than 15. But I often find myself in times where I don't have any ammo in my primary weapon, so maybe I should just learn to not shoot as much, right? I shouldn't be the tank of the class. So, yes, choose one of these, go the distance is what I'm currently at. I may even change to this at some point. So for your second perk, you can either get a silenced pistol, an unsilenced pistol, or you can increase the stun gun's fire rate by 50%. I like my stun gun, so that's the one I went for. Unsilenced pistol, don't do it. It's just going to instantly alert all the zombies around you, and you're just going to get swarmed, so it's completely pointless, unless you're only putting out your drone every so often in big firefights, which you shouldn't really be doing. Just have it on all the time. You could get away with the silenced pistol, but I've noticed that even with the silenced pistol, you can still piss off the Zeds. So if you're trying to be sneaky, especially at the extreme or insane difficulties, then you're just going to annoy all your teammates by constantly alerting the hordes. You should really be sneaking around, taking them headshots with your pistol, silenced pistol. So it's just not worth it, in my opinion. The stun gun is where it's at. So, for your third perk, tapping using equipment increases the range of fire, but it also depletes your quadcopter. I like to preserve my quadcopters as long as possible, so that is completely useless for me. The one and also starting with a bigger gun. I don't care about having an extra heavy weapon, because you normally find heavy weapons dotted about. Granted, it does deal more damage, but toggling follow and stationary comes in very handy. It does give you 50% more damage. It's also useful because you can park it somewhere and let it recharge for a little bit, so you don't have to use as many quadcopters, and you can let your teammates just always have the equipment. So, you've been beneficial to your team. You then get a free perk, which is active quadcopter will passively restore its charge 1% per 5 seconds from last shot. So yes, so that combined with this, if you just leave it parked up somewhere, let it get recharged. There's often times when you're just setting up for a swarm, you can just leave it parked somewhere, and in no time at all, it's basically recharged. So, good. Those 2 combined are good. Reload speed of firearm in burst mode increased by 25%. Again, pretty useless. Increased health, that is the one I've gone for. It's a very boring perk, but I'll take 25% health. That's a good chunk of health. And start with a bullpup rifle. Again, I'm not interested in starting with decent guns, because most of the time you just find decent guns. So it's, again, a useless perk. I'd rather have 25% extra health. When you are grabbed, and if you have no quadcopter following you, But you have one in your inventory, a quadcopter will activate the launch. That again for me is useless because I always have a quadcopter following me. Always. It's very rare that I've got one in my pocket. So again, useless for my part. Receive a small amount of temporary health when your quadcopter is depleted. Yeah, I'll take that one. And if a place followed by a quadcopter, is it about to be incapacitated? The reason I don't like to choose this one, I do like this perk. I think it's a good perk, but the main problem is if you are swarmed to a point where you are about to be incapacitated, then your quadcopter is probably already dead. So in theory, that is a really good perk, but in practice, by the time you will ever get around to needing that perk, your quadcopter will already have naffed off. So you might as well use this one, because when your quadcopter does naff off, then at least you get some health. So which I think is far more beneficial to the one at the bottom. So yeah, parting gifts is my pick. So there are two here, which I'm just going to say are useless straight away. One is point your quadcopter somewhere and it will attract the zombies and then go away. And this one, again, it will fly somewhere and explode. And again, it's gone. This is the one that you should be getting. Sharing is caring, because you can give a quadcopter to someone else and you also have a quadcopter. So that means that there's two of your copters out. And that is just double beneficial, right? You're benefiting your entire team. It's great. It's really good on like mutations where one person takes all the health damage, so you can send a quadcopter to them and gives them a bit of extra protection. Also, if someone's a melee class that is always in the fray, give a quadcopter to them, give them some extra protection, you know, help them out, be the team player. It's a great perk. It is always the one to pick. No questions asked with that one, quite honestly. And then we get a free copter, which is the stun gun can hit two targets at once. Great. Or more damage, you've got pistols. For me, stun gun all the way. Good. Automatically defuse landmines and capture turrets within a 10-meter radius. You've probably all seen the videos on Reddit on, I forgot what mission it is now, but there's one particular mission where you start the mission and the floor is just littered with claymores, enemy claymores, and literally your entire team runs into them, gets instantly deaded, and alerts all the zombies, and then you're instantly deaded. It's crazy how stupid some people are, or yourself sometimes. I will admit that's happened to me. But if you've got a quadcopter that can defuse them, just tell everyone to stay back. You just walk forward, let your quadcopter take everything out. It's great. That is great for campaign, but it's useless for horde mode. You could pick one of the other twos for horde mode, but again, this one, while it sounds good, it will kill a screamer if it's not killed within 20 seconds. It will also deplete the quadcopter, which, again, I do not want. I like to keep my quadcopter the entire match. I often just keep the same quadcopter the entire match and never need to get a new one. Occasionally, of course, but again, so that is useless for me. So in a horde mode, maybe you want to use this one. It doesn't deplete your copter. It can be pretty useless because in horde mode, if you played enough horde mode at least, you will know where all the spawn points are for the specials anyway. But it's probably good if a few sneak up on you. So for horde mode, yeah, choose this one. So all three of these pretty much do the same thing in a different way. So the bottom one is if you kill a special zombie, you will get a quadcopter back with an 180-second cooldown. The same thing for killing 15 zombies in rapid succession. You get another one back. But these two perks, you can still pick up equipment bags. And equipment bags for the Dronemaster will only give you one drone back anyway. So more times than not, your inventory is going to be full. So I like this one, which is you will automatically regenerate every 150 seconds. And it means you cannot use equipment bags, which is beneficial for your entire team. And more or less, you will always have a quadcopter in your inventory. So when you start a match, deploy yourself a quadcopter straight away. 150 seconds later, you'll have a spare one, which you can then send to guard a teammate, either a weaker teammate, your friend, or someone who's doing a lot of melee. Send it to them, and then again, 150 seconds later, you have a spare one in your pocket. It'll be more of the case that you will not need to spend quadcopters that often. If your teammate is really in the action all the time, theirs will probably be depleted a lot, and you can just keep sending one to them every time you've got one spare. If you've got one in your inventory and someone hasn't got one, just send it out, because the clock doesn't start counting until you've got rid of your quadcopter. So just as soon as you've got one, send it out straight away. Send it to yourself first, and then send it to a teammate. So I've not unlocked the next level yet, and I don't think I will, because I'm going to prestige straight away after this. So I'm just going to save my money. But when I did have these unlocked, reloading your primary weapon when the quadcopter is launched is useless, because I've always got one launched, so it's just a waste of a perk. Again, start with the machine pistol as a secondary weapon. I really love the default pistol. That is probably one of my favorite weapons in the game, and in most campaigns, I will be using that pistol throughout most of the map, unless there's a big horde, and that's when I bring out the big guns. So just walking around the map, I will just have my pistol out doing headshots. So having a machine pistol is useless for me. This one is the one you want, which is friendly fire is decreased by 100%, which means no friendly fire at all for that person with a quadcopter. So this is great for your melee classes. When you send this out to someone who's doing a lot of meleeing, just tell them that don't worry about the friendly fire, I'm about to shoot at you, because you cannot get damaged. So you can help out the melee class just firing, as long as they've got a quadcopter over their head. Fire towards them, be less careful than normal, and no damage, so it's fine. And then eventually the last perk, which is an automatic unlock, is that it will stun 10 zombies in 5-meter radius when it's depleted, which is nice bonus. So at this point, once you've gone through this once, you'll be thinking, well, should I actually prestige? So the first prestige level that you will unlock will give any person followed 10% of their ammo when the quadcopter is depleted, which is a bit boring, right? There's 10% is not a lot. So you might be thinking, it's not really worth prestiging for that 10%, which I completely agree, it is not. What it is worth prestiging for is the levels after. And again, this next level, rank 2, isn't particularly useful as such. It's a nice little extra, is movement penalty is reduced by 50%. Which, it's nice, but it's probably not something you are going to notice so much. So the third level is where it gets a bit more interesting. So firearm damage is increased by 15% from the person being followed by a quadcopter. So if you've got 2 quadcopters out, then you've got 2 people with plus 15% damage, which on insane and extreme difficulties will make a massive difference. So at this point, you've already prestige 3 times. Is it worth doing the 4th time just to get 10% less damage? You've come this far now, so you might as well. Because you'll have 2 quadcopters out at any time, one on someone else and one on yourself, that'll be 2 people who can take 10% less damage, 2 people who have 50% increased firepower, and you'll also have 2 people who can't take any friendly fire, which is definitely beneficial. And yeah, just some other little extra perks. So that is my guide for Dronemaster, saving you as many points as possible so you can stick those points on your weapons or elsewhere, because it does get expensive, this game, in-game currency, not in real life. Let me know if you agree, let me know if you've done something different, let me know if you like the pistol. I don't particularly rate it. I'd be interested to know if you're a Dronemaster who does rate the pistol, and let me know in the comments. So let's put my money where my mouth is and have a quick game. I'm not sure if it's going to drop me in with other people or not. I didn't wait for it to do so. Oh yeah, first things first, get yourself a drone out. Also, when you're a Dronemaster, don't be afraid to doing a lot of meleeing. Your drone will protect you quite a lot. And I like to have this zombie axe on, which gives me some extra health every now and again. I'm going to park my drone over here, because as you can see there's a yellow light on, which means it's about to be depleted. So I'm going to let it recharge a little bit while we're in a bit of a rest situation. Not too many zombies going on. I'm just going to leave it there, let it recharge. Top tip. And then at some point I should get a second drone, which I will give to the only real player character on the team at the moment. Here we go. So there he is. I'm going to pass it over. Oh. That should be giving him some protection at least. And if I had put on the friendly fire, no friendly fire, then that would have been a bit beneficial there, but I didn't. Yeah, oh, especially when someone's doing that. Throwing nades at you and burning you, no friendly fire would definitely be very helpful. So my drone's about to be depleted, but I'm going to just bring him over here. Give him a bit of a rest again. Not sure how the other drone's going, but it's still on his head. It seems to be doing well. I'm going to change to this crap gun now. Where's my drone gone? Has he lost his drone already? He has. Should be getting a new drone at some point, so I can give it back to the other guy. So if you are staying in the same place for an extended period of time, then just leave your drone parked anyway. It does more damage and it'll survive longer. So even if you're just running around and you want it to protect you, just keep it there. Just keep it where you want. So yeah, I think that build works really well, especially when you get it to the top level. And as you saw, because I didn't have the 100% friendly fire turned off when I was in the middle of slaying some zombies with some melees, someone was throwing in some grenades and I was getting injured. So if I had had that perk on, then I wouldn't have been getting injured and neither would have the other person being followed by one of my drones. So it's definitely worth it, especially if you're playing with some people who like to be a bit too close with their grenades and fires and anything else. Thank you for that. We appreciate you guys and girls. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I might go for one of my other classes if people are interested, basically. So I will catch you next time.